Test, 1, 2, 3, there we go. Welcome again. Hope everybody enjoyed their meal. We're going to get the program started in just one moment, but before we do that, this event is obviously about closing out the year for us and celebrating all the accomplishments of the conference. And Ezra Broder, who is a new member of our staff and, for lack of a better term, the coordinating producer of the W.TV, who's responsible for a lot of content you saw earlier, has put together a year in review highlight video for us that we want to show now. So we'll start with this.
Comes away with it, corrects one, and it's in!
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You're pretty good. I don't know if you're going to miss.
How about that for Payne? 4 on the clock. Off with the left. No, she'll try it again and score with 1 second on the clock.
Firestone Fieldhouse on the campus of Pepperdine University. It's the inaugural night for women's volleyball here on the W.TV.
Johnston's getting ahead. Here come the Broncos. A shot to score! Stockton going to the basket. Stockton spins it in!
I'm telling you right now, boys, we're winning this tournament. I'm looking forward to coming down here after the dog pile and saying I told you so.
His career comes to an end.
I myself, got a little emotional. Like I said, I never thought this day would come for me.
Biggest pitch of the game, and St. Clair puts it into right field. 2 runs are going to score.
Holmes, pull up, jumper, good! At the buzzer!
Nord, step in 3, got it to go!
And it's good. Sam Dower hits it, 1.9 seconds left.
So with that, I'd like to officially welcome everyone to our now 6th annual West Coast Conference Honors Dinner. Nice to see so many familiar faces in the crowd, and we are now for the first time officially live. We're welcoming live audience on the W.TV tonight to hear from some of you and all of our great student athletes. This is a great evening for the conference because, as I mentioned a few minutes earlier, it really is a celebration of all the things that happened this year. And you look at that highlight video, and so many great memories would be made or have been made this year. Some are great. For every great memory, there's a painful memory on the other side. That's part of being a conference. That's how it works. But I think at the end of the day, we can all take a step back and appreciate all the time, effort, and energy that you all in this room put in to support all of our student athletes so they can make those memories and have those great experiences. I want to take a second just to maybe offer a few highlights on a retrospective of 13-14 because it was a really a really fabulous year for the West Coast Conference competitively. We had 22 teams across the conference compete in NCAA championships, and 7 of those 4 conference sports were multiple bid to the NCAA. Thus far, I think there's still more to be announced, hopefully, but we have had 16 All-Americans announced, and maybe equally as important, if not more, 12 academic All-Americans announced, including, for the second consecutive year, 3 in our premier sport of men's basketball, which is only the Big Ten has had as many academic All-Americans in men's basketball, which I think we should all be very proud of. On a sport-by-sport basis, we started the fall with a very successful cross-country campaign. BYU and University of Portland both went to the NCAA tournament and both finished in the top 7, which is a record for the conference to have 2 teams in the top 7. In terms of in volleyball in the fall, another multiple bid year, San Diego and BYU both advanced and both won 2 matches to advance to the Sweet 16. In women's soccer in the fall, another strong year. Multiple teams in the top 25. Santa Clara advanced to the Sweet 16. We also had 4 student athletes named All-Americans in that sport alone. And 6 student athletes were selected in the professional NWSL draft. And so they will carry the school and West Coast Conference banner forward. On the winter, another highly successful men's basketball year. Both men's and women's, actually. We had a record 6 teams in the postseason, including multiple bids in the NCAA tournament, and 2 teams hosted NIT games, which is a really great step for programs in this conference. On the women's side, again, multiple bid. BYU made their deepest run in the NCAA tournament and gave mighty UConn everything they could handle. I think played them much closer than any other team in the tournament, including teams in the Final Four before bowing out. Gonzaga also went to the tournament. So another good year in women's basketball. And at one point this year, we had 4 teams ranked in the top 25 in women's basketball, which I know has not happened in the 6 years that I've been in the conference. Some highlights from the spring. 2014 WCC Tennis Player of the Year, Alex Sarkeesian of Pepperdine, became the 3rd student athlete in Waves history to reach the finals of the singles championship and just bowed out in the final match. So he finished 2nd in the country in singles in tennis. And he had All-American in singles and doubles honors as well, obviously. On the women's side, our Women's Tennis Player of the Year, Jenny Julian from St. Mary's, became the first All-American in program history for St. Mary's, so another historic moment for that program as she advanced to the round of 16 in NCAA singles. And then finally we had the first year of a new sport, softball in the West Coast Conference, and BYU was picked to and also advanced and won the West Coast Conference first ever softball crown. So congratulations to BYU on that. And then we've had 2 significant recent accomplishments. University of San Diego was the 2nd West Coast Conference team to participate in the women's rowing NCAA championship. That's a 24-team field, and they finished 15th, which is remarkable when you consider that we have only had an automatic qualification to that tournament to that championship for 2 years. And if you consider they finished ahead of programs like Wisconsin, which is a perennial top 5 women's rowing program, in Oklahoma. It's a great accomplishment by USD. And then obviously, you heard from Drew Hacker this morning and saw some video. Pepperdine baseball is still playing. Became the first West Coast Conference baseball program to make a super regional, and I know we will all be watching this weekend and rooting for the Waves to carry the West Coast Conference banner to Omaha, hopefully. So undeniably, it was another great year. Again, many memorable moments, and I think everybody in this room, as I mentioned before, should be congratulated. It truly takes a village to support these student athletes to the level that they want to push themselves to compete both in the classroom and on the fields and courts of play. So congratulations to that, and we look forward to many, many more moments. One of the other things that we like to do at this Honors Dinner is to recognize those that are leaving both our President's Council and Executive Council, present company excluded. But it's interesting. Usually we have a number of Executive Council folks that are moving on, but this year this is heavily weighted towards presidents. We have 3 presidents that we're going to recognize tonight for their service in the West Coast Conference. Only one of whom is here, because the others have dutifully almost completed, and the other completed their service. And we have a couple of mementos here that I want to share. The first president we'd like to recognize is Father Prevet, University of San Francisco. I know Father Prevet cannot be here. I think he's literally in Latin America right now, probably doing service. But I'm going to ask Scott Sidwell to come up and receive this. Recognition is a USF logo with some memorable moments athletically. I'd like to express our deepest gratitude to our good friend and colleague, Dr. Stephen E. Bett, for his love, dedication, and the second president we want to recognize also, unfortunately cannot be here tonight, is President Samuelson at BYU. I'm going to ask Kevin Worthen, new BYU president, to come back up and accept this award. President Samuelson, I think in his short time on the President's Council, made a huge impact, and for obvious reasons was a president I got to know pretty well over the short period he was on. But I will say that his partnership in both BYU's entering into the conference and BYU's position and approach to this conference was really remarkable, and I know Kevin was right by his side and will continue that tradition. So I want to present this to similar wording, but I'll read it as well. This was so much like And our last president we'd like to recognize tonight, fortunately, is in attendance. And I'd like to ask Father William Beauchamp from the University of Portland to come up. This is a particularly, I think, unique opportunity to recognize someone. Father Beauchamp, as I think most of you know, has dedicated a lot of time to this conference. He's been our board rep, he's been our PEG rep, he's been our executive council. He's now chaired 2 commissioner searches. And to have a president that is that fully engaged and knowledgeable about what the conference is and wants to become is incredibly unique. So, Father Bill, we have 2 things for you, actually. One is a certificate. The second is a chair for your new office in Indiana with the West Coast Conference logo and all the school logos featured, and the Portland logo featured prominently on the front. So please come up. We're expressing more deep gratitude. President's Conference would like to express our deepest gratitude to your friend and colleague, Reverend E. William Beauchamp, for his countless contributions, distinguished leadership, valued member of the and with that, we're going to move on to our presentation of our Student Athlete Awards, which is the highlight of the evening, I think, for all of us. And for that, I'm going to invite our Senior Executive Associate Commissioner and COO, I like to call her the COO, Lynn Olsman.
Good evening. As Jamie said, this is one of the most exciting portions of the program tonight. It's our opportunity to recognize our student athletes, and it serves as a great reminder it's a great opportunity for us to celebrate their successes and also to recognize some of the great contributions they've provided to us while we've supported their endeavors on campus. I'd also like to thank and extend my appreciation to our 3 outgoing presidents, in particular Father Bill, and everything that you did in helping this conference. I had the great opportunity of seeing you in action in the Board of Directors room, and have appreciated many of the phone calls since then while sitting in one of the chairs at the West Coast Conference and having conversations about all those fun issues that happen in that NCAA world. So with the annual individual West Coast Conference Awards, we're going to begin with our Sportsmanship Award winners. As part of the conference-wide Represent program and campaign, the West Coast Conference awards a male and a female individual sportsmanship award. These student athletes are nominated by their institutions and voted on by the Student Athlete Advisory Committee on each campus. These individuals also will be moving forward as the West Coast Conference nominees for the NCAA Sportsmanship Award. Tonight, we're fortunate to have both individuals here as part of the dinner and the program. However, before we bring up the individuals to recognize them, we would like to recognize at their table Pepperdine University for winning this year's Represent Cup. Congratulations to the Waves, and thank you for making sportsmanship a priority on your campus. So we did try to spice it up a little bit this year for those that have attended the program in the past. I would like to invite at this time Amanda Blackwell to the stage. As Amanda is coming up, I'm sure many of you may recognize her, but for those who don't, Amanda is the face of the W.TV, and she serves as our in-house reporter. She's going to interview our student athletes this evening so you can get to know them a little bit better. So welcome, Amanda. We're glad you're here. Our first Sportsmanship Award winner is being recognized by her peers for her character and ability to put others before herself, even in the midst of competition. In her nomination, she was described as someone who embodies the characteristics of sportsmanship. She respects others. She is caring, fair, civil, honest, and responsible. She exemplifies these qualities because she has embraced the LMU mission and is focused on developing herself and others as the whole person. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the stage this year's Female Sportsmanship Award winner from Loyola Marymount University, women's basketball student athlete, Emily Benjumbo.
Welcome. All right. We're okay. Good. Our mics are working. Excellent. All right. So first of all, Emily, congratulations. Very exciting. Very big for you to get this award. First of all, what does it mean to you to get this award?
Honestly, I'm very grateful, and I thank God first and foremost for everything. To me, it just means respecting others, respecting my coaching staff, my teammates, the people that I'm playing against, the refs. They do so much for us, and people that put on the events. They do so much behind the scenes that we don't even realize. So I'm very thankful for them and everyone. Yeah.
And one of the reasons you were nominated, you've been known to reach out to opponents in the past, as you mentioned, to kind of just make sure they're doing okay as well, which is just such a great gesture. But why is sportsmanship and playing the game that way just so important to you?
I just think it's important that everyone who's playing the game knows that they're cared for. We're obviously in a competition, and people battle head to head, but it's important to know that it's awesome that we as women can be in this entertainment, be able to entertain people in this way, and we're all doing it together.
Are there any people that kind of growing up you looked up to or really taught you how to play the game that way, that right way with sportsmanship?
I would say my brother and dad are here. They've really helped me. My brother taught me to be tough, to be very, very tough. But they've always been caring towards people, and I'd also like to thank my AAU coach, Brian Shea, and my coach, Mazetta, who's my assistant coach here. So I just really appreciate them. They taught me just to care for everyone. It's just a part of the game.
And now you're heading into your senior year at LMU. What do you think you've learned from your time at LMU that's really just helped you grow as a person over the last couple of years?
I think you need to first be confident in yourself. It's very hard to play at this level or to play sports in general. And you have to stay confident because obstacles and situations are going to come across. And you just have to know and just have faith in your ability. These coaches brought you on this team for a reason, and you need to, don't take it for granted. And just really trust in yourself, trust in what they're teaching you, trust in the people around you, trust in your teammates, and trust in God.
Is that kind of the message you want to send to your younger teammates next year? You'll be that senior leader. You've kind of been a leader on your team, though, the last several years. Do you think that's kind of the lesson you want to make sure you go out having them know?
Yes, and also just to have fun, you know. You're only going to be here for a few years, and first and foremost, have fun with the people around you. I mean, you're building bonds that you'll have forever.
And what does it mean to you to be part of a school and a conference that really just values leadership in this way and sportsmanship?
It means the world. Dr. Bill Cusack over here, awesome, great guy. So I really appreciate him, and I appreciate just the whole athletic, LMU athletics. They're really great.
Great. Anything else you want to add before we let you go?
Go Lions.
All right. Well, thank you. Congratulations.
This year's Male Sportsmanship Award winner was recognized by his peers for developing an anti-bullying campaign, an anti-bullying program called Lace Up, Stand Up. This program has transformed into a 50c3 nonprofit organization aimed at educating middle school students about how to take action against bullying. In his nomination, his leadership instructor said, "Anyone who interacts with him can clearly see the heart, passion, and dedication he places in the initiatives he pursues." For his efforts, he was recognized as a change maker on the USD campus, and he continues to teach the youth of today tools that athletes use on the field to promote positive sportsmanship. Please welcome to the stage this year's Male Sportsmanship Award winner, the University of San Diego football student athlete, Kyle Miller.
Picture for sure.
All right, Kyle, have a seat.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, first of all, so what does this award mean to you to be recognized as the sportsmanship winner?
Yeah, well, definitely, first of all, thank you to the committee who voted at the WCC. Thanks to USD for even nominating me. This is awesome. I guess the WCC has to add football now. But no, it was incredible. I mean, to me, it's definitely, to use football lingo, it's kind of like it's getting a first down in the big picture, and it's incredible validation to the work that we've been doing over the past 2 or 3 years. So it's been an incredible journey for me and for my Lace Up Stand Up team and for the football team who's been getting involved in it. So it's just an incredible validation and first down in the continuing to move the chains down the field, I guess.
Awesome, I like that. That is some good sports lingo there. Now, I want to find out a little bit more about Lace Up Stand Up because this is just such a cool campaign that you've started. Tell us a little bit more about what it is, how you got started, and why it was so important to you.
Yeah, so my sophomore year, I was put into a leadership in groups class, and it was 12 people in the class. And week number 2, the teacher said, all right, so your final project is to change the world. That's the final project. And we're going to start right now. As a class, you have to change the world. It's like, right? It's hard. It's a big task. It was called the Social Change Project, right? And the first thing we did was we wrote down all the topics we were interested in, whether it was poverty or health or sustainability, environmental problems, issues, everything else. And bullying was up there as a problem that we kept seeing and looking at. And it was something that we all could kind of relate to. You know, we were bullied in high school or middle school, or we were the bully, or we saw it happen and didn't do anything about it. And we saw that it was like we all kind of connected to it somehow, and I'm sure everyone in this room probably could connect to it as well. So we saw that as an opportunity, and we chose that. And then the next task was how are we even going to make change in bullying, which is not easy, right? The current systems out there, they tell, go tell the teacher. That's like basically what they say. We wanted to change it, flip the system on its head. So we developed a leadership curriculum that was focused on teaching the witnesses of bullying leadership skills that when they go to make an intervention with the bully, they can actually make impact with allies at their back. So we built it, and it was grounded in leadership research from Harvard, and we had all these doc programs in on it, and it was a big undertaking. And from there, we formed the 501c3 nonprofit, and we were luckily, our first contract was with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater San Diego, which allowed us to do like 16 programs in one spring. So if anyone's interested in starting it on their campus, we're actually starting to expand to campuses now. Colorado Boulder is one of them. George Mason is.
That's where I went to school.
George Mason is another one. We're starting this campus-wide initiative now to have a lace-up stand-up crew on your campus. So that's kind of where we're at now, and we're looking forward to continuing the growth. And if anyone wants to find out more information, www.laceupstandup.com. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Little shout-out. Plug.
So now you took a senior school project and turned it into a real organization that's actually helping children. What kind of work did that take just to even get the process started? How did you kind of get that ball rolling in the direction of turning it into a 501c3 charity organization?
Well, much like sports, it's building an incredible team, and I was like a very little part of like an incredible team. And I was lucky enough to have a team of somebody who knew like leadership and knew finance and knew all these different things. And you got to form a team just like we're forming basketball teams in WCC, and you got to have every integral part, and they need to work together. And that was a big part of it actually coming together. And from there, we were lucky enough to, on our campus, we got nominated a Changemaker Campus by Ashoka U, one of 22 in the nation. And from there, we actually got the opportunity to kind of get put on a pedestal using Ashoka, and they kind of looked at us and we got to speak at conferences about our story, which gave us spotlight. And I actually got to pitch to an investor, Jenny Craig. I got to pitch in front of her an investor thing at our school, and like there's a lot of the school did a great job on taking our project and running with it and trusting in us and our process and our team. So if the team's watching, thank you, team, for doing everything. So it's been an awesome journey though.
Real quick before we let you go, what does the future look like for you with this or with other endeavors similar to it?
It's definitely, it'll always be, Lace-Up Stand will always be part of my life for sure. And there's something about leadership and playing quarterback and everything else that you constantly want to be the leader and you want to learn about leadership. And, I was lucky enough to transfer a lot of the skills I learned in football to the business world. So currently, I don't know where it'll end up. I'm hoping to be an entrepreneur one day, and I'm on the track to do so. But I'm currently a social entrepreneur too. So I'm very lucky to have built teams around me and be part of great people around me to help me with my journey. So.
Great. Well, congratulations on this award, and San Diego, you've got a great guy coming out of your school. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Again, congratulations to both Emily and Kyle. We're going to move now into the segment of the program in which we recognize our postgraduate scholarship award winners. To be eligible for the West Coast Conference postgraduate scholarship, a student athlete must have a cumulative grade point average of at least 3.25, demonstrate significant athletic contributions to his or her sport for a minimum of 2 years, and have a record of participation in campus or community activities. The nominee also has to submit a personal statement of intention to attend graduate or professional school for which this scholarship would be awarded. Our first postgraduate scholarship winner is a coxswain from Gonzaga University who graduated with a 3.95 grade point average in political science and psychology. She participated in the 2013 NCAA Division I Women's Rowing Championship, was a starter for her team all 4 years, and was named Gonzaga's Female Scholar Athlete of the Year. This upcoming August, she will be attending Loyola University of Chicago in the Masters of Education program. Please welcome to the stage coxswain from Gonzaga University, Nasib Bengal.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so we heard that you're going to Loyola University and pursuing your master's in education. Tell us a little bit more about what you plan to do with that and what your specific career goals are.
Sure, yeah. So being a student athlete, I think in order to be successful, the reality is we need a lot of mentors, and we fall back on a lot of individuals during our time.
in college to be successful with our academics and our relative interests. And so for me, it's been always the mentors in the student affairs and student development departments that I've fallen back on during stressful moments. And quite ironically, the ones that I've really aspired to be like or connected with are ones who have been student athletes themselves. So my track for education is to go into higher ed and to kind of become a mentor for future cohorts of college students, specifically women. Being a first-generation student, it's a little bit of a challenge when you step into a college atmosphere and you're like, I know I can be successful, but I need to seek out the mentors. Who are those going to be? And when you go into an athletic world, you are automatically given your coaches and your teammates, but to have that also in the academic realm is a blessing. So for me, I want to go on and come back on the college scene, working with students who are going back and forth between dual practices, helping them navigate and be successful, because that's why I'm sitting here in front of you all today. So, yeah.
And as you mentioned, you are a first-generation college student. Balancing academics and athletics is tricky. Why was education so important to you, do you think?
I think for me, it was always that one success isn't more important over the other. I think that's why it's been so exciting to be part of the WCC and to be a part of an athletic department at Gonzaga that doesn't only celebrate success in a limited way. And what I mean by that is that, yeah, you're going to be a successful athlete, but there are multiple ways in which you do that. And habits are created in multiple settings, and that starts in the classroom. And I know this is something that it's nice to hear about, but I definitely think at Gonzaga and from just being at the conference championships, you see the WCC promote. And it's really cool because our success is based off of multiple outcomes. So it's definitely important, and it's definitely something that as a student or as an athlete, I know a lot of the times you've heard us say this, we sometimes call ourselves athlete students, or we're like, it just seems like we're just athletes. And I think that's because we struggle with that dissonance, where if we had time as students, we'd be great students, and if we had time as athletes, we'd be great athletes. But we are presented with a challenge, and the leadership in this room challenges the students you represent to, make us remember that we're doing something that is kind of inevitable, and it's really cool, the journey to doing that inevitable thing. So, yeah.
What do you think you've learned through your time at Gonzaga that's really helped you just maybe move forward on this next step of life between balancing, academics, athletics, and just your overall experience at Gonzaga? What do you think you've learned?
I think it's been already said, but I think something I've learned the most is good teams, surrounding yourselves with individuals, and not fearing individuals who challenge you, because challenges are where you grow the most. And so I think I'm already starting to miss that. With women's rowing ending only 3 weeks ago for me, it's been already kind of a little saddening to think that I won't have a group of individuals who are willing to wake up like at the most crazy hours in the morning, 5 in the morning, and where we are in Spokane, Washington, rowing in the snow sometimes and worse. And just the people who can break limits and teach you that. I know I will find individuals like that. I think that's why I'm inspired to be around college students as I go on with my professional and academic work. But I don't think it'll be as concentrated, and I hope to provide that kind of, again, outlet for student athletes in the future who might be looking for that kind of motivation. So.
That's a great goal. Before we let you go, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I just kind of want to thank all the Zags here and all the ADs, all the leadership in this room that kind of put up with us student athletes. We definitely, just about when you think you've kind of nailed all the questions that we will throw at you or the predicaments that we will create for you, we present something new along the way, and I think your patience and your leadership exemplify the way in which we want to step out in the world as women and men for others. So it's been cool to see this leadership and to be supported. So that's all. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Zags. Congratulations.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everybody will remember me now.
All right, our second postgraduate scholarship winner is a cross-country student athlete from Santa Clara University who graduated with a 3.88 grade point average, majoring in bioengineering with a minor in mechanical engineering. He served as captain of his team, earned WCC Honorable Mention in 2010 and 2011, and was named the Santa Clara University Cross Country Newcomer of the Year in 2010. Please welcome to the stage cross country student athlete from Santa Clara University, Benjamin Damari.
There we go. Let's see what I won. Thank you. Okay, great. Hi.
Congratulations.
Hi, thank you very much.
So tell us a little bit about the next step for you after Santa Clara.
Okay, so I'll be staying in the Bay Area next year, going up the Bay, the East Bay, to Berkeley. It's actually a joint program between UCSF and UC Berkeley in bioengineering, a PhD program. So the way it works is you spend 1 year rotating through different labs. That can be at either the UCSF campus with their phenomenal medical school, or Berkeley, which is obviously world-renowned for its engineering. So after this first year, you settle into a lab and spend 3 or 4 more years generally doing research and doing either basic science or more maybe translational research in a clinical setting. So so that'll be 4 or 5 more years for me. But I'm looking forward to this educational journey because I don't think I would be doing it if I wasn't confident. That's what I wanted to do.
And what do you want to do with all this education?
Yeah, right. That's normally people's next question. And to be honest, I'm not totally sure because I have some time to think about it. But at this point, I think we all know the Bay Area is a great place for startups, entrepreneurs, ambitious people, right? So I think with the PhD, I'm in an especially good position to be one of those people who starts that medical device company, who maybe recognizes that clinical need and invents the next, vascular stent or something like that. So being the guy who can research at a high level but also do business is sort of what I want to do. So I want to go into industry and really be a game changer there.
Well, it sounds like you've got some time to figure it out, but let's talk about the stuff you've already done, because you've done some amazing work at Santa Clara, and I'm going to read this because I want to make sure I get it right. But so you've worked on developing arsenic detecting devices for water in the developing world, which that's pretty impressive. Tell us a little bit about what attracted you to that endeavor.
Right, so it was my sophomore year, and I had a professor in bioengineering, Dr. Ashley Kim, who's my advisor to this day. And I guess I initially was the one who approached her with the idea of becoming a research assistant because I realized that would be a great transition for me in the next few years as I move on to grad school. So she proposed this research idea, which was how do we detect arsenic in water? I'm sure many of you are familiar with arsenic contamination is a huge problem, mainly in the Southeast Asia, Bangladesh, India, where mainly due to lack of infrastructure and adequate portable technologies, there are millions of people who are suffering from arsenic contamination, which is really cancer-causing. It can cause multiple skin disorders. So the challenge is how do you develop a device that is frugal, meaning it's cheap and effective, but it also serves the needs of the people in those regions. So we've developed a device that's, without going into too much detail, is electrochemical. It's small, portable, about the size of a deck of cards, and we compare it to a glucose meter. So that's also an electrochemical device. People who measure their blood glucose, diabetics, right? We've adapted that technology for arsenic, and it allows us to test for arsenic at a fraction of the cost at the site, allowing us to really determine is there arsenic in the water and then take the next step to remediate it. Yeah.
That's very impressive work and something the world really, it's something the world really needs as well, though, so you're doing great stuff already. But I do want to talk to you about balancing athletics and academics, because I've had friends who are engineers and I never saw them, and they weren't doing athletics on top of that. So what do you think you learned about how to balance those things, and how did Santa Clara really support you in your endeavors to be a successful athlete and a successful student?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Logistically, it's been a challenge at times. My sophomore year, though, we switched to 7 a.m. practice, so that for me was a big sort of load off my shoulders in terms of freeing up my time in the afternoon, because I have a lot of labs I get to go to, and so practicing early in the morning frees me up in the afternoon to sort of run a double on my own, and so that's just one practical way I can sort of get around it. Beyond that, just having good time management skills is sometimes challenging for college students. There's so much going on, so many distractions, but I feel like I've become an expert in that, and just sort of really allocating my time in the right ways has allowed me to succeed in that area. But yeah, beyond that, Santa Clara has been done a great job of encouraging me as a student and also as an athlete, right? So, you know, I was talking to Stacy earlier, and I was saying, oh, you know, Father Ang, the president of Santa Clara, he was at our red and white celebration at the end of the year for all the student athletes, and he gave mass, and that was great. 2 days later, he was at a research presentation I was giving. So, you know, it's people like that at Santa Clara who are involved in both spheres, you know, athletic and academic, who really make a difference for me as a student.
Well, great. Congratulations on this scholarship, and
Thank you.
Thanks for coming up and telling us a little bit about the work you've done.
Great. Thanks again.
Again, congratulations to Nasib and Benjamin. Now we're going to recognize the Scholar Athletes of the Year. The Mike Gilliland West Coast Conference Scholar Athlete of the Year Award recognizes the finest accomplishments in athletics, academics, and community service by individuals who have completed their collegiate eligibility. This year's Mike Gilliland West Coast Conference Female Scholar Athlete of the Year graduated from Gonzaga's Master's Program of Communication and Leadership with a 4.0 GPA, earning her a spot on the West Coast Conference All-Academic Team. She also is one of the most accomplished women's basketball student athletes in the West Coast Conference, being named the 2011-12 West Coast Conference Newcomer of the Year and the 2013 West Coast Conference Most Outstanding Player at the Women's Basketball Championship. She helped Gonzaga to 3 West Coast Conference regular season titles, 2 tournament championships, and 3 NCAA tournaments, reaching the Sweet 16 in 2012. She also was recently selected in the WNBA draft to play for the Indiana Fever, becoming the 5th player in Gonzaga's women's basketball program history to be selected to play in the WNBA. Please welcome to the stage the Mike Gilliland West Coast Conference Female Scholar Athlete of the Year, Gonzaga's women's basketball student athlete, Hayden Palmer.
Congratulations, Hayden. So I have to say, Hayden, I've done a lot of interviews with Hayden over the last several years because she's obviously a great player, and she is one of my favorite people to interview. So I'm not surprised that you are a great student as well as a great basketball player. First of all, let's just start. What does this award mean to you to be named this?
So much. I think, like you said, I've been recognized a lot for basketball, which is obviously one of the biggest passions in my life. But to be recognized for some of the stuff off the court, and this year also in the community and all of that, it felt good just to be recognized as the person and not the athlete. So I'm very grateful for it and encouraged to keep going.
And we won't be able to watch you play at Gonzaga anymore, but what do you think you've learned over your time at Gonzaga that you'll take forward into your future?
Everything. It's just, it made me think when he said it takes a village. It's something, just that place, obviously my team and my coaches, but everybody, all of my friends and mentors and all the support I've had. It's really just helped me, come into my own and be confident and believe that I can do things like this, because I definitely didn't before. And just having that support and having and knowing that other people believed in me, even just with the master's program, it kind of just happened. I graduated and had another year, and you can just take classes or you can get your master's. And I had a lot of support and a lot of people encouraged me to do that and that I would do great. And there definitely were times this year, I'm trying to be a great athlete and leader and all those things where the master's program got pretty hard, but I really wanted to get the most out of that, and it took a lot of support from people, when I'm traveling and missing master's program classes, and their support was everything.
And on top of all that, you've done a lot of community service endeavors as well over your time at Gonzaga. Tell us a little bit about some of the stuff you've done, and then why it's just so important to you to get involved in the community like that.
Yeah, I think that's what drives everything for me with my faith. I felt so grateful for the opportunity. I know that it's a blessing. I've always felt just a passion to help those in need, and I always think about it in terms of the platform I have. And it started out as basketball. That was always a huge thing for me, to make it, to get a scholarship and then to play at Gonzaga, where Spokane's such a supportive community with women's basketball. I just go to the store and go to different places. I can have a basketball clinic and say that it's Hayden, and people would just show up, and that still doesn't get old for me. It's still a surreal thing a little bit, and I know that it's God. So I just really wanted to make the most out of that opportunity I was given. And once I got the opportunity to do my master's, I knew that would be another huge platform for me. It already has helped me a lot, especially with some of the community outreach stuff. And I know it's a part of why I'm going to hopefully get a job this summer with Blessings Under the Bridge, the nonprofit homeless organization I was working with. So just everything that I've learned from leadership and team building obviously really helped as a captain and stuff I've done in the community, and I feel much more prepared now.
And on top of all that, you play for Gonzaga women's basketball, which has been such a fun team to watch for the last several years. I know, really fun to play for. What's it like to be part of that team?
It's kind of hard to put into words, but just always at such a high level. But it doesn't seem. I played at a Pac-10 school my freshman year, and we claim to have all the competition and high level, but there's something about Gonzaga and the support, and I really think the belief, the village kind of thing is, it wasn't really, it just, we're expected to do that all the time, and it wasn't like pressure, it was just like, we believe in you kind of thing. So if we did lose or do that, it would kind of be a disbelief for us also, and all the support I would have in campus, just walking through campus and play a game yesterday, or different awards I would get that everybody, teachers recognized, people in academics recognized, fellow students recognized. So just something that every day we know we're going to practice and we're working hard for our university, and just wanted to keep that legacy going.
Okay. And now before we let you go, anything you want to add?
Just thank my mother who's here with me. Definitely the scholarship side of me and the academics has kept me going. My father's an former athlete, basketball player, so he kept me on the court, but she kept me in the book, so thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
The Mike Gillern West Coast Conference Male Scholar Athlete of the Year graduated with a 3.1 grade point average in finance and compiled one of the most notable tennis careers at the University of San Diego. Playing primarily at the #1 singles position, this student athlete helped lead the Toreros to 4 NCAA tournament berths and 2 West Coast Conference championship titles. He was named the 2011 West Coast Conference Freshman of the Year, named to the All-West Coast Conference first team twice, and achieved a career-high national singles ranking of 27 during his final season. To cap off his career, he was selected to compete in the NCAA Singles Championships in Athens, Georgia. Unfortunately, this year's award recipient could not join us today, but we do have a video to introduce the Mike Gillern West Coast Conference Male Scholar Athlete of the Year tennis student athlete from the University of San Diego, Clark Spinoza.
Congratulations, Clark, on being named the WCC Mike Gillern Male Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Thank you very much.
What does it mean to you to be recognized for this award?
It's an absolute honor. Being able to be successful in athletics and in the classroom as well. It's what our coaches and what our university strives for, and just really thankful to be recognized at this time.
And the WCC has always been a conference that not only looks to athletics as important, but academics as well. What has it meant to you to be kind of involved in an environment that's so supportive of your academic success as well?
USD's athletic administration, from their counselors to the tutors, everyone from that aspect and down to the coaches, they have really good communication, and they really emphasize working in the classroom and making sure that we stay on top of our schoolwork. So just the fact that they've been able to help me get through school, help me just do all the small things day in and day out on a daily basis, it's been really special, and I wouldn't be here without them. I wouldn't have been able to balance tennis and school with that and without them. So.
And the award doesn't just recognize academics and athletics, but also community service as well. And you actually did some work through the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Can you tell me a little bit about what you did with them?
Yeah, our team actually just recently adopted a young boy named Jared, who's suffering, and he's in that society right now. So we kind of adopted him, and he's been coming out to a lot of our matches, and we've just been really trying to be really supportive with him. And you know, he's kind of become a little brother to us, and he's a really good kid, and it's just been really special to be a part of this journey with him and have him experience college tennis with us and be able to experience several matches and the conference tournaments. So being able to spend time with him and reflect with him has been it's been a great experience.
Now, obviously, between tennis and school and doing work out in your community, that's a lot on your plate. So what have you found has been able to help you be most successful kind of balancing all of that?
I would say definitely time management, being able to balance school and tennis, and on a daily basis we have practice, we have classes and tutors and other various things that we need to get done. So being able to manage your time really well, and also just having a really good support system at USD has made things so much easier. Being able to talk to anyone, the coaches, my teammates, administration, they've been so supportive, and throughout these past 4 years, and it wouldn't be possible without them. The work that they do behind the scenes is extraordinary, and that's really what goes on at these schools, and that's what makes these teams so successful is the people behind the scenes on a daily basis. And I'm just really thankful that they were able to help me throughout these past 4 years.
Now, you've also had a wonderfully successful tennis career at the University of San Diego, which we haven't really even touched on yet, but congratulations on a great career, first of all. And what do you think has been maybe the thing that'll stand out most in your mind going forward?
I think definitely, first of all, thank you, and second of all, I think my teammates. Coming in as a freshman, the team really took me in, and I think our team has probably one of the top 5 closest teams in the country, and we've really strived to keep doing that and keep that up. And the camaraderie on our team is just extremely special. I'm just so thankful to be a part of it. And leaving these guys, I just wanted to really instill the same traditions that the past seniors helped with me and helped with our team. And I think going forward that this team is going to do great things, primarily based on the camaraderie of the team. And I'm really going to miss that. Graduating now, it's been 4 years spending day in and day out with these guys on the court. It gets rough out there. You don't want to be out there sometimes, but it's just, looking back, it's just been an amazing experience. I really couldn't be happier.
And before we let you go, anything else you'd like to add?
Just thank you to the West Coast Conference for giving me this award, and I'm really sorry I couldn't be there. Unfortunately, I have to finish up some summer classes, but thank you very much, and thank you to all USD Athletics, our coaches, and everyone that's been a part of this unbelievable experience.
All right, well, thank you so much, Clark, and congratulations on a great college career and a very bright future.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. No missed class time for Honors Awards dinners. Okay, we got a double dose of Amanda tonight, both live and in video. So, Amanda, thank you very much for helping us out. Our final award, or should I say awards, is our Commissioner Cup Awards. The Commissioner Cup, for those of you who aren't familiar, recognizes our school or schools in different categories that achieve the highest level of winning in conference play. And we actually have 3 different awards. There's a Men's All Sports Award, there's a Women's All Sports Award, and then there's the overall Commissioner's Cup. So first of all, the Men's All Sports Award. This year, the Men's All Sports Award proved to be a very tight race. With the completion of baseball, which was the last sport that counted towards the men's side. The 2 teams finished atop this category for all Men's All Sports Award in a tie, actually. Together, these 2 institutions combined for 3 first-place finishes and 6 top 3 finishes across 6 men's sports in the WCC, tallying 37.5 points apiece. The winners of the 13-14 Men's All Sports Awards are BYU and Gonzaga. And I'd like to ask Kevin Worthen and/or Tom Homo and Peggy Sue and/or Heather to come up and receive your awards. The winner of our Women's All Sports Award and our overall winner actually come from the same institution this year. With a total of 92 overall points, this year's Women's All Sports Award and WCC Overall Commissioner Cup Award winner are both awarded to the BYU Cougars. So congratulations to BYU, and I'd like to ask Kevin or Tom to come up and accept the Mighty Cup.
Sorry, Jamie.
just briefly, I'll notice, just want to note, I come to my very first meeting, they give me a Commissioner's Cup, so this is a very friendly group. But in all seriousness, it really is an honor on behalf of the university and the student athletes and coaches and staff at BYU to accept this award. I was involved with athletics as we entered the conference, and it has really been an amazing thing to see and a joy for us at this campus at BYU to associate with schools who are not only faith-based but whose academic mission really matches ours as well. And so it really is a privilege to be able to